audience before I record this intro. I just feel it's important to let you know that this was written by Adam. I'm sorry that it's long, and I'm sorry that it ends abruptly, but here we go. At first I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live without you on my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you killed them all, and I grew strong. And I learned how to get along, so now you're back out of your case. I just walked in to find that nasty, grotesque look upon your face. I should have killed you at the first time, but yet this gets a movie 3. If I had known that in the second you'd be back to control me, go on now, go. Crawl out the door. Turn around now. You're not a person anymore. And that's as far as Adam got.
Well, okay, don't fucking shit on me for this. We talked about this. That song is non-stop lyrics for 5 fucking minutes. So there is no good place to stop. I could have literally written 5 minutes of Basket Case as I Will Survive, but I didn't.
I appreciate that you stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're going to talk about Basket Case 2 as picked by
you didn't
me.
need to say the name. They should have known what we were talking about just for that intro.
Well, I mean, their podcasting device tells them what movie that we're talking about anyway. It's not like it's a big reveal.
Surprise!
But yes, we are talking about... Yeah, surprise! We're talking about Basket Case 2, which I love. And I am pretty sure that there's 2 people on this call that don't like it so much. But whatever. I'm here to defend it.
Scott's taking the hot seat on this one, because this movie is fucking hot. I love this movie.
Wait. Adam, how many times have you seen Basket Case 2?
Once, about an hour and a half ago.
Fuck, God damn it. Okay, this is my 4th time watching this film. I just don't ever want to watch it again.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It's just it's so much slapstick, and it's
just so insane. And I think that's what I actually like this one more than the original Basket Case, which I know is like blasphemy to say. But for me, it's kind of like when I was a kid, my 2 favorite parts in Star Wars were the Cantina and Jabba's Palace. And this movie's just 90 minutes of the Cantina scene in Jabba's Palace.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Did you just compare disfigured people to aliens? Scott, so maybe you've seen it a few too many times, but you can understand it and appreciate it as a monument against, the fight against modern-day ableism, right? You can see...
I can definitely see how it would definitely be Tumblr-y in that she's like, we're all freaks. We don't want you normies here.
So the movie's it's actually very it's like a comedic version of the movie Freaks from the 30s, all the way up to like the one girl being transformed into a freak for trying to expose them. But so the movie, let's go through, because I got a ton of notes on this one. So the movie opens up with the very ending of the first movie, which is not the best choice because these characters look so dramatically different, like 3 seconds later.
It's been a decade.
Well, it goes from them falling out the window and him looking to be, pretty young, like in his 20s, to them at the house and he's like 35. And I was like, well, what the fuck are that?
Yeah, plus no explanation on how either of them survived that drop. But one of my favorite lines in the movie is early on in the beginning when they're doing the news report and they're interviewing the neighbor. And this is like 2 decades before YouTube became like the site where you could go and find crazy news interviews. But like not looking that far off from the now I got bronchitis girl is the neighbor, and she's just like,
you mean Sweet Brown?
Yeah,
Jesus, man.
Because the little guy is Dwayne's brother. You believe that shit? Like,
to me, it looked like a leprechaun. To me, I really saw a leprechaun.
Yeah. Belial looks 1,000 times better in this movie, though.
But he still looks like shit.
It really depends on the scene, because
so
there's
they're in
scenes
the
where he looks great, and then there's other scenes where one time I snuck into the back of a place where they were having a haunted house, and I looked in the dumpster, and there was a bunch of foam shit in the dumpster that they had thrown away, and I took it home, and that's the kind of shit that Belial looks like in this movie.
Well, it's like there's one point where it's like he's shackled to the hospital bed, and he's like this fully robotic build. And then there's like another scene in the movie where it's clearly an actor with his head through the table, like laughing. So it's, they have like 5 different tricks for what Belial looks like throughout the whole movie.
And they're all fucking mediocre. But I will say the best part about that intro scene, or the beginning, that the hospital scene, is when Belial kills the shit out of the creepy security guard.
Yeah.
Because that dude deserves to die more than pretty much anybody else in the whole Basket Case franchise.
So did he... Maybe I'm just crazy, but he kind of reminded me of that one dude who's Adam Sandler's friend that appears in like every Adam Sandler movie, like the dude from Grandma's Boy.
Oh, yeah,
yes, he does look like that dude.
Was it that dude? I'm gonna assume that it was that dude. And if it was that dude, this is the greatest role he's ever done.
So they escape from this hospital, and it's giving me flashbacks to Phantom of the Paradise with how easy it is for them to escape the hospital.
Yeah, you just slide down a record press and you're out the front door. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, he just like steals an old man's coat and just hobbles out of the hospital pushing a trash can where like Belial's sticking out of the trash can. Like, it's not even like he's well concealed inside of it.
He put a couple of towels on him or something. It's fine.
Yeah. You know what else? The other movie that it was bugging the crap out of me when I was watching that scene for this episode. I could not remember what movie we had watched where I was like thinking, Jesus Christ, did they have no hospital security back in the 80s? I was thinking of From Beyond, when Jeffrey Combs has like the little wiener come out of his forehead, and then he eats all the brains, and then he's got like blood and brain matter smeared all over his face and neck, and he gets out of the hospital, and then I believe he eats a homeless person who's tied to a gurney, and who's got vomit splattered on his shirt.
So let's also point out that if like the freak, I don't remember her name, but like the grandma who's taking care of all these freaks, if she didn't...
Yeah, it was like Granny Debbie or something. Yeah. Just call her Granny.
Granny. If Granny didn't pull up at the time that she did, there'd be no movie already. Like, he did not have a well-thought-out escape plan. He's just hobbling very slowly as you hear police sirens in the distance.
Yeah, but he stole that coat, so he's probably good. Okay, but Granny does get him, and Granny and her, whatever, as we assume at this point, her granddaughter, take him back to this mansion in Rhode Island. Where was it? Staten Island.
Yeah, but he wakes up to the cast of Nightbreed watching him sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my God. So let's talk about the meeting the other freaks segment of this movie, because it is just practical effect after practical effect.
I'm going to send you guys a picture, and you're going to know exactly which one I'm thinking of when I send you this picture. Okay.
Wait, Are we guessing which one is Matt's favorite character?
No. I want you to just see this picture and assume which one I'm thinking of when I look at this picture.
Yes, Matt's favorite.
Yeah, exactly. That one is so fucking weird to me. And there's a scene where he's eating corn later on, and I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that, buddy?
That scene where they're all eating, I know we'll get back to it, but that scene is the most cathartic scene in the entire film, because the whole fucking movie I spend every single time I forget about that scene, and every time I'm like, how did they eat?
So we go through and we meet a lot of these characters and all the like practical effects and stuff. Some of them seem to just have elephantism. Other ones have like beanstalk sprouts for heads, and their eyes extend onto stalks. They look like stick bugs and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you exist? And then there's the one that's confined to the bed, and he sings a great concerto and like fucking.
He's my favorite guy. I love the opera
really?
head. I love opera head.
Now, the one that I've sent them the picture of, if you guys remember the episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog with that dude with the gigantic grin, there is one of these freaks has this like weird piano mouth where his teeth jut out and then get increasingly bigger as it's so hard. I don't even understand how to. It's physically it's crazy. And then whatever. There's other ones and then there's what's Belial is introduced to essentially his female counterpart, who is in the bed, hiding under sheets. She doesn't like to be seen. And, later on in this movie, they're gonna get down to fucking.
Yeah.
And it is uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll just go right there. The monster sex scene is still as hilarious as ever, is the note that I have for that. Because it's like, it's that uncomfortable laughter. I can, like, laugh uncomfortably by myself, but I made sure, as I have every time I've watched this film, to be absolutely alone with no one even looking over my shoulder while I watch it, because I know that scene is coming up. I'm like,
I don't even know how to be able to stop yourself from jerking off. But
I don't even need to touch myself.
Yeah, no, it just happens. It's like a nocturnal emission, but you're awake and watching Basket Case too. So no, okay. But that scene, what's really disturbing about it is that she's making normal female noises. She's like, oh. But Belial is like Himalayan throat singing or something. I mean, it's crazy fucking noises.
So there's one more thing that I want to mention, and I don't know why I've always laughed at this scene, but there's the one character that's like kind of like a pinhead.
Frederick. His awkward high?
Yeah, it's hilarious to me every single time.
He goes, I love it. I have a note for that.
And then he just pokes Belial's forehead, or what amounts to his forehead, I don't know. And then he goes, woo!
Well, like, there's all these people in costumes, and like all I can think is that in acting, you get paid a certain amount of money to just stand around and not have any lines of dialogue, but if you speak on camera, you get paid more money. And there's just a bunch of fucking people getting paid very little money so that someone else can just dub in their noises for them later on. And that's like super obvious with the little Frederick, hey, that he does.
That's disappointing, and I really wish you wouldn't have kind of broken my suspension of disbelief there, buddy.
No problem.
I was just going to say the note I have immediately after that is all in caps. I'll make you a margarita. I'll put an umbrella in it for you. Which I think is the best line of the movie.
Is that the crazy old man that's saying that he has Belial?
No, it's the crazy old man that's trying to get the girl, the quote-unquote granddaughter, to like come over for dinner or something. He's like, he owns a bar.
Yeah, the dude that's like 10, 20 years too old for her, and
more like 30. That dude looks like he's in his 60s.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Hold on a second then. Okay. So I have a note, and maybe you can clarify this for me then. So I'm going to jump ahead. There's a scene where they're all hiding out in a bar wearing the most ridiculous masks to blend in that have ever existed on this planet. And I had a note where I said, like, most of the kills in this movie are justified, in quotes, but the bartender just got his jaw torn off, and it seems like it's just so that they can use his bar for a couple minutes. Is that the same guy that's catcalling her? Because I could kind of wrap my head around why they killed him then.
No, I don't.
I don't remember.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. But I agree that most of these murders are revenge killings, and pretty much everybody deserves it. But like, they come hard and fast. It's almost like Belial brings out the worst in everyone. And speaking of which, so Dwayne is still such a lonely pervert in this movie. He's just trying to get his dick wet, like ASAP. Like in the last movie, he goes to New York and immediately meets the weird receptionist girl, and they go on a date, and he's just like, please, let's have sex. And then in this movie, he meets the granddaughter and immediately is like, I love you. You're normal. Let's go bang and run away.
So they find out that there's a guy who's claiming that he has Belial. And they call him, they show up, he gets a phone call, and there's this scene where all I can think of is fucking Stephen King in Creepshow 1, where he's just like, woohoo! 100 smackaroonies! Like, and he's just like doing a little like, like tap dance. Like, he's
he's sitting in his house, he's like, $900 dues! Whoa! But yeah, so that guy, so the old woman immediately shows up. And he takes her back to his like little freak show tent, which is the most boring thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And no wonder he's excited about $100 because I wouldn't pay him 10 cents to go into that fucking booth because it's lame. But then he's like, "Look at this fucking skeleton. That was one of the the Belial brother or whatever." And she's like, "Yeah, that's all chicken bones. We're gonna kill you now." Like,
I like that she's like, how's he so big? How do he fit into the basket? And he's just like, he grew after he died. Like,
he was like coprophagia or some shit.
I don't think that's the word he said. But I like that that's what your word association is.
But yeah, so then there's like a lot of stuff in the middle that's super uninteresting, but it's like there's a news reporter that's trying to find the brothers to do a news story on them, and they realize that they're hanging out at the grandma's house, so they send the camera guy.
That comes directly after. Now, Belial's our bro. I'm going to give him a little fist pump right now, because we're making fun of... Dwayne? Is it Dwayne?
Yeah.
Dwayne. We're making fun of Dwayne for being, like, meeting that girl and immediately falling in love with her. He tells Belial that, and Belial just laughs straight in his fucking face.
Yeah, so we have... What I think is a really well-done scene is when the camera guy breaks into the house, and he's up in the attic.
Oh, yeah. I haven't heard about that, too. We're in agreement, yep.
Yeah, that is a really cool, well-done scene with just the Flash revealing stuff, and it's kind of a nice strobe light effect.
It is. It's interesting and it's cool, but the whole time I was like, get down, step down the ladder. Step. Yeah. Just get off the ladder. Move down.
You've got all the images you could possibly need for this story at this point.
Yeah, also, what broke my suspension of disbelief in that scene is that there's no possible way he had that many flashes in an analog flashbulb set, so, there's that.
Get a load of this fucking guy over here.
So there is a joke that I have to make. When the blonde reporter shows up at Granny's house, the frog freak is in the bushes, and she, like, sees him for a second, and I'm like, oh no. She's gonna have to do the dance of the three snakes.
Well, no, I love that she sees him in the front yard, and then she goes in and talks to Granny, and Granny's like, "No, I don't have anything to do with freaks anymore." And she's like, "But I was right. What was that?"
They have to be like cramped as fuck in the back of that van, right? Like, there's way too many of them. To like, there's the scene where they're all leaving the bar, and all of them are just going into the back of the van, and it's like it's not that big. And there's so many of them, and most of them are weirdly large.
It's like the world's grossest clown car.
Yeah, because a lot of them are like kind of gooey. You notice that they put some KY on most of their faces and stuff.
One guy appears to have 20 working noses on his head because they're always dripping snot.
Yeah.
So they break into the news reporter's house. I believe her name is Marcy, and... that scene I also have always really liked, just because it's like that classic. It's the movie Freaks. It's that scene where the one normal person is completely being surrounded by all of the freaks, and there's nothing that she can do, and then they reveal that like Belial basically just ripped and twisted her face into like this hideous like cone of skin that's sticking out of her face.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like that effect. I like that. Like, I love the practical effects that are just scattered throughout this entire movie. Honestly.
So it's strange to me because Granny has this scene where she rallies the troops, right? She's like, "These reporters are coming. They want to find us. So we're all gonna, we can either run or we can rise up and we can fight." And it's like everybody's like, "Fight, fight, fight!" Or if they can't do that, they're like, "Rah, rah, rah." But and then and then she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna fight back," and then just Belial kills everyone. They all stand around in circles while Belial murders people, and that's the fight. That's all the fighting. They show up at the bar, and they're in the bar, but Belial still kills both those, like the bartender and the guy. And then they're in that girl's house, and some of them are like, climbing into windows and spooking her and stuff. But who fucking kills her? Belial kills her, like every time.
But they celebrate. They celebrate that they succeeded in the barbecue scene that
With
we talked about.
Your absolute favorite thing, their song.
Wait, the song?
Don't they sing the song on the bus?
Well, that's in part 3. I love that shit. Did you watch 2 and 3?
No, I didn't. I've seen 3 once before. I think it was last summer, but I could have sworn... Is it Granny just sings a song in this one?
Granny sings it a little bit, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, so there's one thing I wanted to ask you guys, and one thing I want to tell you guys. So, question. Is the doctor that separated Dwayne and Belial the killer from Slumber Party Massacre 1?
I don't...
Because he looks like him.
That I don't know.
I couldn't be bothered to go look.
During that scene, all I could think was that the woman, who was also like, yeah, we'll tear them apart, I kept being, is that Sigourney Weaver? Is Sigourney Weaver in this fucking movie? That was all I could think the whole time, because she acted in it.
Yeah, she definitely has a Sigourney Weaver look on her. Yeah, so while Matt looks that up, I will tell you guys something that I realized in this movie. The final exam in acting school is apparently fighting a prop monster, as you can tell in this film, and Evil Dead 2, basically anything that Sam Raimi has done ever. I don't know. I'm kind of running dry on my ideas here.
Fucking Bruce Campbell should teach that class then, because when he fights that thing with the chainsaw and fucking Evil Dead 2, that's fucking awesome,
man. So my last couple notes are basically just that. Actually, it's my last note. The last 10 minutes of this movie is crazy as fuck.
Actually, that's what I have for my last note too. Is Dwayne just went fucking crazy.
Yeah, you find out that this chick has a weird monster fetus thing living inside of her stomach that pops up every once in a while, and it kind of looks like the thing that explodes out of Elvira's cooking and Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And then there's the scene where all the freaks are panicked and running around the house, and it's like a fucking Scooby-Doo segment where they're just opening doors and coming out all different corners, and you could probably throw the Benny Hill theme underneath it, and it'd be pretty funny. And then he just rips Belial off of his lady immediately after they finished having some serious hardcore lovemaking, and stitches him back to the side of him. Which that ending was always so gross to me. Just the sound effects and the blood spurts as he's stitching themselves back together.
I agree.
And they made a pretty lackluster part 3, but it has a couple highlight kills in it. But it's definitely not nearly as good as part 1 or part 2.
Yeah.
But yes, that's all I got. You guys got anything else to say?
I think it's a good flick. It's I think when the granddaughter or whatever gets pushed out the window, that's the third person that gets defenestrated in this movie. I just wanted an excuse to use the word defenestrated. That's all I want.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Mega Ran, teacher, rapper, hero, and huge wrestling fan. Every week, you can join me and my co-host and a special guest talking about the week in wrestling, talking about historic events, and playing some great hip-hop influenced by, you got it, wrestling. It's Mega Ran. Matt Mania is the name of the show. Search that on any of your favorite podcast apps. Tune in, turn it up, and get busy.
So what did you guys watch this week?
I'll start us off. When magazines, websites, shit on Facebook is comment here and tell us why you should win these free tickets. Well, I actually did that, and I won free tickets to go see Get Out. So I went to an outdoor screening of Get Out, which everybody saw on the Facebook page. The movie was good. I had already had it entirely spoiled for me, so there wasn't anything that was really surprising me. I'm happy that I saw it with an audience, but I was also kind of a little bit pissed off that I saw it with an audience, because whenever any of the obvious yeah, you show them fuck whitey stuff happened. Everybody would get way too like ruckus and like clap hard about it. It was like, stop virtue signaling, you fucking losers. We're just watching a movie. Like, you're not making any kind of fucking social changes by sitting in a seat and watching a fucking movie. So you can be quiet. But I took a friend to go.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie, and it has a good social message. It's just that I was in a crowd full of white people, and it was like, can you all shut the fuck up? I'm just trying to watch this goddamn movie. It's not for you, okay? Shut up. So I took a friend to go see it, and the way that they had the system set up was like you bought beer tickets and shit, and I wasn't drinking any beer, but she got a bunch of beer tickets. And we realized that they were like, it was like you'd go up and they'd be like, well, what kind of beer do you want? And then you'd be like, oh, this. And they'd be like, okay, put the ticket in the bucket. And then they'd just turn around. And it was like the honor system of like expecting you to put the ticket in the bucket. So I was like, well, don't put the fucking ticket in the bucket. So she went up and got like an extra 5 free beers, which is a nice little fucking rumor. Please don't be listening to this. So we did that, and I don't know. I'm all caught up on Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is fucking dope right now. If you guys haven't seen the latest episode, it was probably that just seems so expensive and elaborate and crazy to me. You know how dangerous it is to just set like one person on fire in a fire suit. You know how they have to have like like a safety team on set and like everybody on standby. And then they light them on fire. They're on fire for like 30 seconds. Then you got to get in there with the fire extinguisher, right? They did that with about 20 people at once in this episode. And I thought it was CG because I was like, there's no way that they could safely do that. And then I watched a little behind-the-scenes thing. No, they lit 20 people on fire all at one fucking time. And then all these interns had to rush in with fucking fire extinguishers and start putting people out. And I was like, that's fucking crazy, man. But yeah, that shit's great. Rick and Morty, or Pickle Rick was the last episode that I saw. And it was fucking phenomenal. That show never fails to impress me with its wittiness and its fucking insanity. Other than that, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Hey, I got some virtue signaling for everybody here. This is a little late, but not too late. Megan and I watched whatever the newest season of RuPaul's Drag Race is, and it was great, and I really enjoyed it. And if you guys on the Facebook group want to talk about, and girls want to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race, and anybody that is adept at posting GIFs from the show, and I know who you are. Were
you content with who won?
I would have preferred the one who lost the first lip sync. That was the person that I liked the best. I also liked someone who got knocked out about 2/3 of the way through. But it's also because that person that queen was not very versatile. She was just very pretty. You know how, like, what's her name from Australia? Courtney Act. You know how when she was on, whatever season that was, like 2-3 seasons ago, when she was on, she was like a very pretty queen and also fucking hilarious, and I was kind of disappointed that she didn't win because I thought she was kind of the total package. But I'm coming from a very male gaze kind of point of view where I like my queens pretty, and I kind of cringe saying that, but it's just because it's so much more shocking to me when they don't look like a man in drag, and they actually, like, the illusion is good.
Well, yeah, that's why I was very much so rooting for the one that had all the plastic surgery. I think that was Trinity Taylor that season, because I was like, I found myself just fucking staring at a man's ass constantly and being like, damn, fucking.
But that's the thing, though, is that when they have the plastic surgery, I almost feel like that's cheating. And they can do whatever the fuck they want. That is their life.
No way, man. It's commitment to the bit. That is fucking way above and beyond what a lot of other people are willing to do. To follow that lifestyle and to follow that choice and to be what they want to be. I find that more endearing than anything else, really.
Okay, well, then that's totally fine. I mean, we're going to agree to disagree on that, but it's very interesting to hear the inverse opinion that I have. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Matt, what did you watch?
So I also finally got around to seeing Get Out. I liked it. I saw that this movie was about to get pulled from Netflix, and I had heard good things about it, so I watched the movie Dope. Have you guys seen Dope?
What is Dope?
So it's everyone says that it's the like urban version of Superbad. It's not quite. It's definitely not a bad movie. I enjoyed it, but I think that it had been hyped up too much for me because I was seeing it on like a lot of best of 2016 lists. But it's about three geeky teens in Inglewood, California, who are like, they get good grades, they love 90s hip hop, they have their own punk band, and then one of them gets like caught up in, he gets invited to this drug dealer's party, and he agrees to go to impress a girl, and then he ends up with his backpack filled with Molly and a gun, and basically like it's kind of like The Girl Next Door. Like he's got to do like a lot of really shitty things in order to maintain a positive reputation so that he can go to a good college and get out of the inner city. But it's got some funny moments, but it's a little too heavy-handed for what I look for in a teen flick. Like I was kind of just looking for a good fun time, and it was a little too heavy for me. But the other thing I want to talk about is I watched a TV movie from the 80s called The Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, starring Larry. You ever see that?
I have not
Larry
seen
Drake?
it, but it is definitely. I know exactly what it is, and it is on my watch list.
Yeah, it's fun. I've decided that I really, really like Killer Scarecrow movies, and I'm kind of bummed out that there's not.
There's like one other one, and spoiler alert.
Yeah, no, there's a handful, but there's like a lot of like stupid shit, like Scarecrow Goes Wild, where it's like I don't want that shit, but like stuff like Dark Knight of the Scarecrow and Scarecrows, and there's like 2 or 3 other ones that I read about that I want to check out. Like, it's such an untapped resource that I would love to see like them get a really serious shot one day, because I feel like it's not that expensive to do a Scarecrow movie. Like it's pretty lo-fi on the effects that you need to do. So I don't know. I'd love to see like a modern take on it, because I don't think there's been like a serious Scarecrow film in years. So Dark Knight of Scarecrow, if you can track it down, it's actually a pretty fun little TV horror film starring Larry Drake.
Hey Matt, have you ever heard of Straw Dogs? Shit, you have, haven't you? Damn it!
Yes.
I thought for sure I could trick you into watching a graphic rape movie. Damn.
No, all you got to do is be one of the picks that we watch in the next month. If you want to trick me into watching a graphic rape.
Yeah, there's a lot coming up, guys. Just brace yourselves.
So that was Basket Case 2 from 1990 as picked by me. Don't forget that you can always send us suggestions at hmnpodcast@gmail.com. In like less than about a week from now, 2 weeks. From 2 weeks from now will be September, which is our listener suggestion month. So we've got 5 movies lined up that you guys had emailed us. So what that means is that the January listener suggestion month is up for grabs. Start submitting some movie ideas to us at hmnpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll start looking through those and picking out which ones we're going to suffer to. And also, if you want to follow us in any types of social media, well, there's a website, hmnpodcast@. That's a website. I am tired. It's late. There's a website at hmnpodcast.com, built by the beautiful and sexy Stephen Bay. So go and check that out for all the different ways that you can track us down. And, we haven't said this in a while, but rate and review us if you're on iTunes, because that apparently matters from what I hear. So thank you guys for all your support, and we will be back with the last movie that we'll be discussing that was picked by one of us until October, and it was picked by Adam.
Get ready for more.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.